we were in the first 18 minutes of the first half. And we were as equally as bad in the second half. We couldn't make a basket or couldn't make a really right play during that time. We just somehow did a lot again what we did in the North Carolina game and the LSU game. When things got a little tough, we really had trouble stepping up. So it's a big area we got to work at. We got to somehow get them to understand the importance of at that time that people do embrace that part of the game and get it done, but also other times in the game when there's simple plays we make them, and those are big changing moments for the game. So disappointed for our team, disappointed at some of our players who are better than they played in that second half.
Questions for Coach, please? Anyone?
John, in the flow of the offense, what do you think is the biggest issue right now with the ball is, whatever you want to say, sticking or whatever, it's just not getting the looks that you're
Well, here's what happened in the second half. They switched every ball screen. That when Wesson was in there, they hedged, but they switched every ball screen the whole second half, and we hadn't seen that yet this year. And that spooked us, and we didn't execute very well against it at all. And so we really were not efficient in the second half because we didn't execute. We really didn't execute in the second half. First half was a clinic, wasn't it? Clinic was good, but they didn't switch a ball screen the whole first half. When they switched the second half, right? Wesson they didn't, but when they just went to that, we put our head down and tried to make some plays. And then when we had plays, when we had layups, we missed them.
Ethan?
With a 13-point cushion going into halftime to blow that lead, is there a sense of complacency or is it a failure in the game plan?
No, there wasn't any complacency. No, they came at us and we did not respond really. No, we weren't doing that because it really started in the second half. Big 5-point play in the second half, and that started the momentum going. I think it was 11-0 run they made when we were up by a lot. But 13, I was actually told, I'm glad we aren't up by 20 at half because we're not ready. If they make a run, there's got to be they just made a run. Now we understand we'll go out there with some purpose. But the first play of the second half, we threw just a terrible pass to start it, and I said, okay, we're not going to win playing this way.
When it's a closer contest with a few minutes remaining, is there someone in particular you're looking for to step up?
I called every number I could call, and it didn't happen. Right? It didn't happen. Our freshman and sophomore made some baskets, but there weren't many in the second half, were there? There were only a couple baskets we made.
Zach?
It seemed like your point guards, they all had at least some positive moments. I guess, what do you think of each of their games, and then what led Xavier to be the second half guy?
Yeah, because we couldn't stop them defensively. Frankly, he's better than the other two defensively, and I thought he could just run our offense and we'd get some production from our other guys. So, but we couldn't stop them, and it wasn't necessarily his man. But we couldn't score, and we couldn't stop them. And this is something that it's going to be a journey all year for us until we grow our young kids, right? And our veterans embrace their new roles as being the guys, right? Being a guy that's got to make a shot, that's got to make a play at a certain time.
What concerned you about Ohio State moving in? We had a short turnaround and not a lot of chances.
Well, with the exception of the big guy, they got a lot. That like you said, if Kato Bates, right, he's they probably would have been an NCAA tournament team last year if he doesn't hurt. Just like when we lost Karis LeVert, it just happens to teams. So he's really a special player. He's probably going to be a first-team All-League performer, right? Wesson's like a young Sutherland. Jay Sean Tate. They beat us last year, right? We got a few players missing from last year, and they got a few players back with Kato Bates down, and they're good. They're good. Who's gone? You guys have been in the Big Ten. Who's gone to Wisconsin and win like that, right? But we could have had this win today. We just did not play well in the second half.
Coach, did you see some of the mental, emotional, faults that you saw in the North Carolina game at times, or was it more just adjusting to
Absolutely. We just have to continue to toughen up, get some, what does Jim Harbaugh say, get some steel in our spine when things are tough, and not necessarily look for the coach to the answer. The coaches got to do that. You got to make those type of plays when I think when we get something in, we didn't make any of those plays, and that's my job to make us get better in that, right? So, it's not about the 13-point lead, it's not about all that stuff, it's about whether, we got back ahead, right? We got back ahead didn't we get up by 4? Did we get back by 4, we don't get a stop, and then we didn't make any shots after that, I don't think.
Gentlemen, there's been defensive issues in the past, it's sometimes you pointed to tactical things, other times it's been just playing harder, playing better defense.
Yeah.
What was it in the second half tonight?
They started out just really driving the ball hard at us. I mean, Tate, Joff, they're pretty good players. And they just beat their one-on-one matchups on a few occasions. Got just enough putbacks to make it different. We didn't have a lot of execution mistakes on defense. They made some tough shots, and maybe we're tired. They've been playing the same amount of games as us. But we just couldn't get the stops that we needed to get in the second half. But if we said, when we held in the first half there, when they scored 30 points, I mean, it's the other part that we scored 19 points in the second half. How many times have you scored 38 points in a game? And we were on a 38 schedule there, so it's, we held them to 71 points. That's not like awful defense. What it is was bad offense, just bad in the second half. Very frustrating.
Anything else?
John, what do you make of Duncan's struggle the last 3 games?
We see it with shooters, we see it a lot. We see it, they'll go in, they'll go out. Probably legs are tired from 10 games and, was it 24 days?
Yep.
10 games in 24 days, probably that. He'll be back out there shooting again.
And actually, kind of same question, but for Charles, are you looking for
Yep,
him to take things over a little bit?
he's never been in these situations, right? Road game, right, coming back, right? He's doing some things, he's trying to be a physical player when he's as quick, as athletic as anybody, but he's trying to play like I would play, right? With body on and Euro stepping and tricking people when he's so quick. We could just keep working on him, right? To get him to get to the basket quickly and shoot it when he's open, and pass it when he's not. Trying to do too much.
Okay, Coach, I think that
All
was
right,
it.
thank you.